Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So we're back with another video. So today marks the day of the first episode of my Black Lives Matter series. I've been talking about this for a while. I've actually been really bad about this. It's nearly been a year since I started even filming the content for this series, but I think I was more struggling how to present it because it was filmed on lockdown. It wasn't like it was a face-to-face discussion. It was just over FaceTime or phone call with my friends. So I decided to make it into a podcast. So it's like a podcast, but it's also showcasing different Black Lives Matter quotes or what it's like to grow up black and stuff like that. There's random quotes related to Black lives, and yeah, that's basically what you're going to be seeing. So each episode there's going to be different quotes, and then they'll be on repeat throughout the episode whilst we're talking, so you guys can see the different quotes but still be aware of what it is to grow up black, and still be aware of what's going on in this present moment and past moments in terms of being black and growing up black, and yeah, just literally being black. So this series is basically a discussion with some of my friends who are black, and what their experiences are, how their lives have been growing up black, what they think about different Black Lives Matter movement things going on. Bear in mind this was filmed 2020 March and May time. Why am I saying March? Sorry, not last year March. This series started filming around May and fell into June a little bit. Yeah, so it was filmed in May/June, not March. I don't know, I was saying March to begin with, but it was filmed around that time. So it's been a few months since that's happened. So some of the topics we're talking about will be topics related back to when they were most talked about at that current time, but it's still relevant. We still need to remember and reflect upon what's going on, because yeah, 2020 was a lot, and the Black Lives Matter movement was one of the headlines of 2020. So yeah, I thought I'd do this episode. There's a few episodes. I want to say there's at least 5 episodes of me just talking with my friends and having this discussion about what it is to grow up black, our experiences, our thoughts, and just talking, just chilling. So yeah, grab yourself a tea, get yourself a coffee, get yourself a snack, some cake, some biscuits, whatever you want to get. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this first video. This is the first one I've edited, so we'll see how it goes, see you guys actually enjoy it. But it's literally just us talking and just talking about our experience being black. That's as simple as I can put it, basically. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Remember to like it if you do, and share it to friends and family. Also, it would be really helpful if you have any Black Lives Matter information, anything related to Black lives, so it's Black history, or the stuff that happened last year. Just anything, let me know, because I can find quotes related to that and put them in the next episodes, in terms of just putting them in the next episode. So when it comes to being aware of stuff that's going on, I'm more aware and other people are more aware because they're seeing the quotes pop up on the screen as we're talking. So yeah, this is a long enough intro. I know this footage is at least 50 minutes long, so without further ado, let's get into things. Alright, so you're literally the first one doing this.
Okay.
So basically it's just going to be a conversation. It's not really an interview. I'm basically just going to bring something up and we'll just talk about it, I guess. I don't know. Actually, let's start with introducing yourself, I guess. We'll start that way and then we can go from there. For everyone that could. And obviously you go uni Liverpool, same as me.
Yeah.
Same course, business management. So you live in Sheffield currently, right?
Yeah.
So how was it like growing up in Sheffield? Because obviously it's different all over the UK.
Yeah.
When it comes to racism and just living black in general. So.
Well, Sheffield's moderately diverse.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely black people, Asian, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Not like London, but it's not just white. However, where I live is basically the Peak District.
Okay.
So it's the rural area.
So it's predominantly white in the sense.
So it's just probably established people that are older, not that many young people, most of them are just kids.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of where people move to. The only black people that live here are footballers.
Okay.
You'll see a few few black people, but
other
if
than
I see a black person walking down the road, I'm like, kidding. Who are they? I don't know them.
That's legit what I do in Liverpool. When I first went to Liverpool, I was like, okay, let's spot the black people because I don't see you. You can't see any. It's so weird.
So yeah, so when I went to primary school, it's in my village. So I live in like in a village, whatever.
Okay.
The primary school I went to, there was like one Asian person in my year, and then me. Everyone else was white.
That's it.
So that's like 60 people. Yeah. There's like 60 kids in a year. Everyone else was white. So my childhood was basically just growing up as a white person with brown skin. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
So, yeah.
I personally would just find that so weird. There's walking into a room and there's literally not one other black person at least.
I know. Well, the thing is, like, when you're 4 or whatever, when you start school,
You don't realise it. Yeah, you don't see it at all.
see it, but then people used to ask me, like, why are you brown?
Oh, God.
People call you black, don't they? You know, like, little things like
little
that.
things.
But obviously, when kids are that age, I used to be like, I'm not black, I'm brown. Kind of thing, like, to all these other people. But I didn't even know that it was racist or what, you know?
Yeah. Because it's such a small thing to say that you don't really... You're quite naive at your young age. You don't really pick onto it.
No one told me earlier, by the way. It just so happens that you're an ethnic minority and the government hates you. Like, no one really says
No one says it at all.
No one said that.
At all. Oh my gosh. I couldn't imagine primary school like that for me because it was just so diverse, my primary school.
Yeah.
So diverse. I feel like there's even people that came... I think there was a guy that came from Kurdistan, I think, in year 6. He came in last year. It was just a mix of everything. I think it was predominantly black, I think.
Really?
No. I think my year group was predominantly black.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Because I
saying
don't think
that...
I've never, ever been in an educational setting where I've been the majority.
See, I just
Do you get
find
what I'm
that,
saying?
yeah. That's why I think when I went to uni, it was such a shock walking into a classroom and it was predominantly white. I immediately just felt just weird.
Like, to now.
Yeah, like I know where to go from here.
Yeah.
I don't see people that I usually... I don't know, because you're so used to one way of doing things and you walk into a completely different system and suddenly your eyes are open to how other places are in the world, the country and stuff like that.
Diverse. Yeah, definitely. But I think when I went to uni, obviously for me, like, that's just my norm or whatever.
Yeah.
But I found that some people found... I don't even know if it was a race situation, but I think people found it weird. A little bit, like, you know, if I was trying to white people, they'd kind of be like...
Yeah. I think that's the uni way. I don't know. I always felt weird talking to the white people.
Yeah, but I've never felt that way before.
Yeah.
So I know all the people that came had never had that experience, and they were like, why are you trying to be...
Not saying that. Obviously I've got white friends and everything, but it's a case where... I don't know, because I feel like I'm used to being in a very diverse setting, like not just black people, not just like completely different races, different backgrounds, and learning about everything that way. So for ACS for me, it was like, okay, every single black person in one place. I don't know. I wanted it to be... I want a society where it's literally like everyone.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I feel like I'm used to that. So in terms of school and everything, did you find teachers said certain things or children said certain things that you picked up on, like, oh, is that racist? Or did you just not really...
I don't know, people... Like, I think the most common thing is what I found, like, from this whole blow-up of Black Lives Matter, is that people used to always ask me, are you black or are you white?
You're both. Why do you have to pick?
No, but are you black or are you white, though? Which
No.
one? And I'm just discovered that I'm not even black or white. I'm literally my own race. I am not black or white. I don't belong to the black community as much as I don't belong to the white community. Like, I'm literally there. Somewhere else. I might as well not even be black or white because I'm my own entity.
So did you find that difficult? Like, not really...
I don't even know if it's difficult. Probably. You know when someone says like, oh, if someone was to say to me, talk about your culture, I wouldn't say anything about being white.
Yeah, okay.
Because society like puts you in
one category.
You're not white, you're too dark to be white, so you must be black. So I think like that's made me identify more with black, but I'm my mixed race person, not black or white. But everyone just assumes that you're white because you're black because you're too dark.
Yeah, even for me, like I've been called the light skinned black or whatever. Like you're not really that black. I'm like, I'm literally fully black. It's not like East West mixed. I'm literally fully black.
Yeah.
Even if you're light skinned and still fully black and not mixed, you're not black. I'm like.
Yeah, but you're light skinned though. That's the thing as well. Like people say, you know, like sometimes I think the mixed race person is the person that's not accepted by black people because they're too white, and not accepted by white people because they're too black.
It's weird because you're your own person. Like you're not defined by your race. You're defined by your personality.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what people tend to just not really show. Because even me, I feel like growing up at school, obviously, I just felt weird because obviously the black people acted a certain way, and I didn't really want. I just wanted to act like me, if that makes sense. But I also I felt pressured in some sense to do this a certain way because everyone else was doing it that way.
Yeah.
If I did something a certain way, it would just feel weird. Like everyone would be, you know, that weird energy that you get.
Yeah.
It'll just be that weird energy.
It's definitely like that. Oh, you're so white for everyone's reason. Why are you acting white?
Because you are. You're both. Oh gosh, this world.
So yeah.
It's just the ignorance of everyone.
No one can be racist to me because you're just being racist to yourself. Like, for real, I'm everything, so don't even come with that energy.
Exactly. Energy, stay far away. Stay far away. Say you're walking down the street and you see a white person and literally cross the road. I've had cases where that happens and it's just like, why are you doing that? Like, am I that intimidating that you're crossing the road? Or you're that put off that you're crossing the road? I don't know.
I don't know if I've experienced it, as in noticed it. I don't know if I'm. Thing is though, even though people say like, oh, you're identifying as a black person because I'm mixed race, I still think that I experience white privilege, even though society puts me as a black person. So I don't think that I experience that severity of racism that say like a black person would experience because I still am half white, and people like have that light skin, all that kind of stuff. People accept it more than if I was fully black. So I don't think I always experience the same things everyone else experiences.
Yeah, definitely.
It's slightly different.
Because with me, I didn't really look until I got to uni, because then I was naturally more aware of my race.
Yeah.
So I did not notice certain people would look at my hair or something like that.
Now hair is a whole nother issue. Because everybody I know does not have curly hair, does not have one bit of tan, and if they come back from Tenerife on holiday, they come back red, they don't come back brown. So as soon as they see curly hair, it's hands in, giving it a scrunch. Ooh, why is it so greasy? It ain't greasy. First of all, no one told you
greasy.
To put
wow.
little fingers in there. Your hair's so frizzy and big. And what? What do you want me to do about it, Brenda?
It's natural. Like.
So when I was at school, when I first started like primary school and that, my hair was tied up straight back and I never had it down. I probably wore my hair down like once at school. Yeah. And then when I went to secondary school, I probably wore it down probably 10 times. All the times it was like straight back because
it was just too much of us out. Everyone else had it away or straight or whatever. So
yeah, I straightened
followed that
all the time.
Yeah. Like with me, I think I've always been natural, but I went properly natural in sixth form because I used to blow dry my hair and then my mum would plait it or I would plait it or just wear it out, but like out in some sort of updo or anything like that. I wouldn't really wear it out as I do now.
Yeah, definitely same.
But yeah,
I don't think I wore it down until I went to college.
Yeah,
that wasn't even like my school.
Because we were doing our video interviews and stuff like that, I already know there's a standard because natural hair isn't presentable for the workplace sort of thing.
It's messy.
It's messy.
It's professional.
Yeah, so I have to.
Every single interview I've gone to and wore my hair down, I've never got the job.
Never.
Every single internship interview I went to, 2 of them I wore my hair down. 2 of them I wore my hair straight back or straight. And the 2 I wore my hair straight back or straight, I got the job. I'm not going to say that it's anything to do with how I was presented or how the person personally thought about me, but I can tell you for a fact it's about my hair, not my personality.
100%. I don't think I've ever gone to an interview with my hair out.
I never will.
Never. And it's so, because we have to go to that extra standard. You'll get a video interview and like, okay, I have to put my hair away now, pull it into a style that's presentable, and then look presentable from the camera. Whereas a white person, for example, all they have to do is put their hair back and get on camera.
They just have to give it a brush with their brush with
literally,
bubbles on
that's
it. It gets stuck in their hair.
I find it so frustrating though, because it's literally how our hair naturally is. Do you expect me to wear my hair unnatural in the workplace all the time?
Well, as soon as I get the job, bro, you see my curls.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have time to be doing all that to my hair, for my hair to be breaking and all. Let me not. Let me not. Like, even
but the thing is, that's the thing. What, like, we have to accept doing a business course, going into the corporate world. When you go there, you won't see anybody who looks like you.
No.
You'll see the cleaners.
No. Yeah.
And that's just one of those things that we have to accept.
It even reminds me of my year 6 primary school teacher, because I went with my hair straightened the last week of primary school, and she's like, oh, you're wearing your hair natural, and I was like,
one of my teachers called me Oriental. That just shows the ignorance of what people think Oriental is, or what any race is. Oriental don't mean flipping black, bitch. It means Asian. I ain't Asian. But that's
uneducated people.
I was convinced I was Asian, you know, because I was doing research about how after they started bringing slaves from Africa to the Caribbean, they started bringing like Chinese people. So I'm thinking, oh, I must be Asian. I must be. I do one of those ancestry things, and I'm 0% Asian. I was mad. I really thought I was Asian.
Yeah.
I thought, oh yeah, I'm cool. I've got loads of, you know, racism. But now I'm Nigerian. I'm 18% Nigerian and 28% Sierra Leone.
Oh, okay.
I'm 3.8% Italian.
Italiano.
15% Scandinavian. I think that must be my mom.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
I don't know, but I'm more black than I am white. So I don't know if mom was a bit black or something, but
yeah. There's actually a lot of blackened people that you don't really know, because you have to go all the way back to find someone that's black.
Well, some people who were, I was reading all these things about how even a lot of Caribbean people who identify as like 100% black actually have white in them, because their ancestors were raped by their black slave owners. So I'm pretty sure that some white people will then be black because of the same situation. And
those same white people being racist to black people. It's just like the irony.
Oh, I know. Oh,
the irony.
God. It's crazy.
It's mad. It's so mad. The workplace experiences, I know you must have had some workplace experience, so you're just like, are you actually serious? Did I hear you correctly? Did you actually say that? Are you actually acting like that? And definitely, even if I haven't experienced it myself, I've watched other people experience.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
Yes.
My workplace experience is very interesting because I used to work at Foot Locker.
Okay.
And there was a few black people that worked there. Probably like, I'd say a few, 3, including me. Okay, let's say 4, including me. And lots of people would be like, oh, who served you the shoe? And then the customer would be like, oh, it was the coloured person. But the thing is, I understand it. I actually get it, because people don't know. People don't know. They live at such a high privilege and entitlement in their life regarding race, they don't realise that they're racist because they've never experienced it. So I do believe that some people say it from a standpoint of absolute ignorance.
100%.
So a lot of times I've had to correct people and saying, oh, do you mean the black person?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah. But so many people feel uncomfortable. You know, if I was like, someone like, oh, who served you? I'd be like, oh, it was the black person. Oh, it was that white person over there.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I feel like black people have way more like ease of describing race.
Yeah.
White people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. So I guess we pinpoint.
They were the ones that started it.
Yeah, and I guess we pinpoint on everything a white person says to sort of see whether it's. I feel like I second guess everything someone else says that's not black now, even more, because it could be a case where are you ignorant there, are you not, like you have to pay attention to what to say, because if it's completely out of line, I feel like I will say something.
Well, I've had my very own cousin say to me that she can't protest against black people because she's white.
Come again? So she can't protest
against... She says that, you know, like, so I was talking to her about it, and I was like, this was ages ago, by the way. This was probably at the start of the year, like before it was a thing, as much as it is now. And she said, oh, well, I don't feel like I can ever be protested against racism because I'm white, so it's not really my thing. And I was like, are you gay? I see, gay people going to Pride. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't mean they're not. If I'm talking about gay people, doesn't mean I think I'm gay. It just means that I know what's important. Do you know what I mean? So I think a lot of people, that's why it's important when people are sharing that stuff, like, if you're silent, you're part of the problem. Because
it's
no one's going to change it unless the majority
It's true. And the difference now is that white people are fighting against racism, whereas before it wasn't like that at all. And it doesn't matter the colour of skin. It's like, it's the whole point, Black Lives Matter, is to show that they do, because clearly they don't in a lot of societies.
And Facebook has just been that outlet for the racists to show their faces. I don't even go on Facebook anymore because
I never was really on Facebook to begin with. I feel like it was more a uni thing. So when I went to uni, I was like, oh, everyone's on Facebook. I need to get on Facebook again.
Like group chats and like forums and stuff.
Yeah,
no, well, people around here, it was even said, like, I saw it on the news the other day about lots of black people experiencing racism when they're on walks in the countryside and stuff like that, because obviously it's loads of white people.
And they feel like it's not your place or whatever.
And obviously I kind of do live in that segment. So a lot of my mum's friends that she has on Facebook and sharing things, some people would say are extremely racist and hatred towards a race, but they wouldn't say so. I'm not racist, I have a black friend.
I hate that line so much. So much.
I'm thinking your cousin's not black, then it's race. So let's just get that clear there, and that ain't black. So.
I wasn't trying to be racist, but
I see all these white people having mixed race kids who say the N-word after every sentence. So I don't really think you can justify that.
It's the fact that they try to justify saying the N-word. I even feel uncomfortable saying the N-word.
No, I don't agree.
I don't really agree in saying it because that word was used in such a negative way that I don't really understand. I understand why people will say it to sort of twist it and make it somewhat positive, but I don't agree with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I watched this film called Farming about...
Oh yeah, that's meant to be good.
Have you seen it?
I haven't, but it's on my list.
You need to watch it because it literally is so good. Have you ever watched Get Rich or Die Trying?
No.
Well, they're on Amazon, so get on Amazon now.
I've got Amazon,
anyway,
so I watch it.
Majestic, who's one of the main characters, the actor, farming's about his actual life.
Okay.
So yeah, it's so interesting. And in that, he basically becomes racist towards black people as a black person, saying like black bastard, black cunt, stuff like that. And then I just think, well, if in your head you've always been told that black's bad, why don't you just remove the fact that you're black and then flip it and then just be the racist person? So then I always think, well, maybe that's why people want to use the N-word and stuff.
Yeah, because they just want to flip it.
Yeah.
And it's in pretty much every rap song as well, and it's a case where it will slip out. Like, I know it will slip out, even if, because you're singing lyrically, it just slip out and you're like, so when a white person says it and it slips out, it's...
The thing is, though, the difference between a black person slipping out and a white person
slipping out is
when a white person says it's not a slip.
They know they're saying it.
Yeah. I feel like in clubs they play Niggas in Paris on purpose so that we can all notify ourselves of who's racist or who's not. Oh, keep us speak.
Have you watched Dear White People?
No.
Watch it.
One episode.
You watch one?
Yeah.
I think give it another try, because I watched about 3 episodes and I stopped watching it And then I went back on it, and I've literally finished I think I'm midway through the second season.
I need to get on it.
Get on it. So there's a lot of points to pick up on the ignorance of white people.
Yeah.
Just because it's cool how they got a black community in their college that do so much to empower black people and to pinpoint on racist activities. There was even should I ruin the scene? I don't know. Let me not. Just watch the first season, because something happens towards the end of the first season. That's mad. I didn't think that would ever happen on a campus, but it did. So that's all I'm gonna say. Watch it, and then we can talk about this. Yikes.
You know what someone said to me at uni? I don't even know if it's racist, but it's just a thing. Someone said to me, "Do you curl your hair?"
That's ignorance. That is definitely ignorance. Do I curl? Wow.
I just thought, what? Are you mad?
Oh, that reminds me, there was even one girl. This was literally when we were still fresh at uni, probably a couple weeks in, and we're at the academic advisor session, and we're talking all that, and then it got to conversation about hair. Why are the bins being so loud outside when I'm talking? Why? Anyway, so she was like, "Oh my gosh, is that your hair?" And I was like, no, that's not what she said. That she's white. Sorry, what did she say? I don't know. She made some sort of reference to my hair, and I was like, yeah, I have to put it up and stuff like that, because otherwise it's just a lot to handle. It gets picky. And then she was like, "Oh, can I touch it?" And before I can say anything yet, this girl's in my hair. It's
like when someone says "excuse me," but they've already barged past you. It doesn't work. That's not a thing.
When I tell you, I had to hold myself in, because I was like, did I just go in and touch your hair like that?
That's the thing, because I know for a fact I've had it at work, customers at work touching my hair, putting their hand. Your hair's so nice. Yeah, you can compliment, but you don't need to
touch. I don't know where your hands have been. Exactly. My gosh.
No, it's so uncomfortable, because the thing is, I know that for a fact that if I was me going around touching white girls' hair, people would think I was a psychopath. But all of a sudden, because my hair is different to the norm,
it's okay.
Else around, it's perfectly fine because it's different. No one else said that.
And also, they don't even understand the time that goes into getting the hair back that way for you to go and mess it up by touching it.
It's just man entitlement. Who said that it was cool?
No.
Nobody.
Do you
spend like feeling your arm and saying, "Oh, my skin's nice. Oh, look at your skin, it's so white." What would you think? What would you think if you said that?
Mad. I'll take off.
But it's the same thing. I don't know.
Oh my god.
I don't know who said it was cool or acceptable. It certainly wasn't me.
No. It's like, do you spend time washing it, detangling it, deep conditioning it, styling it?
I know, I wish I got £1 for every hour I spent on my hair, because
I'll be rich.
Ballers.
I'll be rich. Ballers. Honestly. And for you to just go like this.
The thing is though, it's when people start like combing it. You can't comb when it's dry.
No. Do not. When I see people with natural hair actually comb it whilst dry, I want to cry for their hair. So I'm like, you're literally just ripping it out.
I know. That's the sad thing about black hair, because there's no one ever developed anything to like help black hair to start with. Mm-hmm. So in some cases, white people know more about black people's hair because they've never had like the education.
Yeah.
Like, I know some people who's got black moms who don't know how to look after their kids' hair because they never got taught about it. All they knew was Vaseline and combing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just crazy, like, compared to how much developments and products available for white people in early years. There's stuff now, but it's only just come to Superdrug in my lifetime.
Yeah.
So.
Even Superdrug, like even when lockdown happened and they closed all the black hair shops, I was like, the ignorance there, if you think all our suppliers are going to be in Superdrug or Boots I was like,
I know. Well, the thing is, there's a shop like kind of near me. It's like half an hour away, and it's like a shop that sells clothes, food and that.
Yeah.
And then it has hair next to it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So then it's like a hair shop and a food shop in one, so they didn't have to close, and that's like the only shop where you could get a hair stuff.
I wish I had that.
Brand. It's not Boots or Superdrug.
Yeah. I wish I had that, because for me, I go to places like Peckham, Lewisham, London to get my hair stuff and everything, but I couldn't go because it was closed.
Yeah.
And
it was nuts. And then all of a sudden Boots and Superdrug have full stock. And there's not even Thief 2.
And also we go to black hair shops to support.
You know, ASOS even started selling black hair products, Shea Moisture.
See, it's always a Shea Moisture.
Trying to capitalise on black people not being able to get their stuff. It's nuts.
It's mad. It's mad. Like, they know what they're doing with that, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't mind buying from Superdrug. I've got no issues buying from those places, but I also want to support the smaller shops. I want to go and get the stuff from my smaller shops. It's sort of like
you know that where the money's going.
Yeah.
It's actually his life. When I go to Superdrug, I know you're getting a wage. Like,
yeah.
It's going to some CEO who's not even participating in Corona.
Exactly.
Working in Corona or whatever.
Exactly.
But it's crazy.
Oh gosh. But honestly, when this whole movement started happening, I feel like social media was just mad. It was so mad. Because obviously you're doing your research, you're discovering things that you didn't know and all of that, and then you're sort of overwhelmed by it. Like, I know I had to take a step back at some stage, because it was just a lot of negativity, and it was easy just to get overwhelmed, but it's also important to fight for it. So you're sort of conflicted in the case where you want to make people more aware, but you also just like, you don't want to be weighed down by too much negativity.
Yeah, I was hearing too much about racism.
Yeah.
So it just made me mad. Like, I was literally angry. I was like, oh my gosh, this is making me angry, I can't even deal.
Yeah.
But I just had to like
remove yourself.
I couldn't watch people's stories, let me stop.
Yeah.
I leave them for the work.
Yeah.
Listen, I was watching the news and Keir Starmer, whatever he's called, the Labour leader.
Okay.
The new one. He did an interview in regards to Black Lives Matter. This was only probably 2 or 3 days ago.
Okay.
And he said, let me quote him. He said, the Black Lives Matter movement or moment.
Did my guy just say moment?
Yeah, moment.
Moment?
Your moment. He said it was a moment. And he said that nobody should be shouting defund the police. It is absolute nonsense. And it just made me think. I wheeled back to like the start of this when I watched that Netflix series that came out about Malcolm X, and there was an interview that he did on there, and it said that there's no difference in racism between the Conservatives and the Liberals, what they have, was it the Republicans, and the only difference is that the Republicans are better at hiding it. And I was like, that can't. I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it was true. I was like, well, Labour's all about inclusion and helping everyone, so how can it really be racist? And then now when I hear that interview, everything comes to light, because I just realised that all that hiding, that you need to invest thousands and thousands into maintaining statues, into scrubbing them, getting the moss off, making sure that they're clean, of people who didn't do anything nice. I do agree though that some people say, well, slavery was legal, so, but there's lots of things in the world that are legal but are completely unethical.
Yeah.
So I don't agree with that argument either. I understand that it's legal, but child labour is still very prevalent in the world, and is legal in some places, but it's not ethical, and it's still a thing. So, and I hate it when people say like slavery was abolished, because it never happened.
No.
And that annoys me quite a bit,
No.
because if you
Educate yourself, please.
I just wonder where this abolishment happened, because we all know that 30 years later there was still people held in slavery in Africa.
Yeah, because it took a while for the news to even get round to everyone that slavery had ended as well.
What's your opinions on the loan that the UK took out?
I hate it. I really do. But we can't help that a lot of the UK's money stems from slavery. Like, if we were to get rid of all of that, I feel like we would naturally be a lot worse off.
Well, the whole of the UK is based upon stealing, conquering, colonisation.
Yeah.
And if you look at places like Australia, which Boris Johnson referred to as culturally the same to us, one of the most racist countries in the world, it just kind of just puts into perspective that maybe things haven't really changed at all, and that maybe if they wanted to, they could have got rid of slavery. But how do we know that the people who chose to get rid of slavery really wanted to get rid of it, or thought that it was just something that we had to do?
Oh, definitely something that they had to do. Definitely.
Just had to do just because the world was getting older and people were just not accepting it anymore, kind of thing.
Because they don't see the wrong in their actions. Like, Boris has said a lot of things that have aggravated me so much that I've had to literally just take a step back and calm myself down. Oh my
God. What? Do you want to
God.
say one more word or I'll box you in the head?
Yes.
You know, the thing is, when I go to uni and someone says to me, if you do the presentation and you start erming and ahhing and saying like, you'll lose marks. How the hell
do we have a prime minister?
Erm and ah at every sentence and still maintain votes?
Honestly.
If I went to an interview and just started doing that, how the hell would I get the job? Never. Ever.
He does.
Yeah. Statues need to be taken down. I don't believe in statues.
Because even though we learn about Rosa Parks and stuff like that, that's just America, number one. Second of all, it's not really going into detail about slavery. It's just showing the Black Lives Matter movement. So it's like the case where we don't really know exactly every detail about slavery, what exactly happens when it comes to the slave owners, different plantations, like all of that is kind of where we have to do that ourselves, when I don't think we should have to go out of our way to find that information and learn about it.
The things that we learned about slavery was that Africans got took to America in a boat. We didn't learn about like the things that white people did. We didn't learn about the things that black people experienced.
Because have you heard of Roots?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've watched that. Yeah, that opened my eyes so much.
I didn't even like learning about that kind of stuff because everyone was so ignorant, and I was like the only black person that every time everyone was talking about it, like I know everything about it. Bro, it's as much your problem as it is mine.
You created it.
Well, yeah, I know. Everyone always looked at me expecting
some sort of
explanation as to what's going on here. Oh, sorry. So what's this about?
Why don't you educate yourself and let me know?
When they talk about it, I'm thinking, wasn't it your granddad's starring nation? Wasn't me.
Oh my gosh, I just don't. It's just so mind blowing how white people look at black people like it was their problem that they created, and it's like, no, you guys brought us to America. You guys brought us to the UK, and you guys created your own problems. If you didn't want black people in your country, why did you bring us here in the first place? People that say go back to your country, I'm like, you're ignorant because this is my country. So I watched this Instagram video of this Indian guy who lives in America, and this white woman was like, go back to your country, duh. And he made it funny. He actually put on his Indian accent. I don't know where exactly he's from or anything, so I'm just gonna say Indian. Put on this whole accent like, duh, and then he suddenly just broke out in his American accent. I was like, I like it. I like it.
I don't think anyone's ever told me to go back home.
No one's told me that, but when I hear it, it makes my skin crawl.
Don't say it to my face.
It makes my skin crawl so much.
The thing is though, I think because a lot of times I socialise with white people. Say like my neighbour's having a party, there will be white people there. Some people forget that I'm black. You know what I mean? You know, like I'm sure my dad is, to be honest, the industry that my dad works in here, he's the only black person that works in, like he knows or whatever. And so many people have said like little racist slurs. Like he went round to somebody's house once. He had spoken to them on the phone, had a consultation. He's a financial advisor, by the way.
Okay.
And went round to the house. She opens at the door, knocks on the door. She opens the door, the woman, and she goes, "Oh, you sounded taller on the phone." I don't even know how he hacks it because it's nuts. Just little things like that. Tall again.
Like even I was just watching Football Focus the other day, and I can't remember this footballer's name, but it's all tied and everything. And he was literally just shopping. He had his shopping, and these two ladies, I think some of the items fell on the floor. So he started picking it up for them. All of a sudden swearing like, "Get the fuck." I'm like, this guy is helping you, and you're going off because he's black. Do you see yourselves? Do you actually see yourselves? What do you think he's going to do? Steal your items when he's already got items that he's paying for happily?
Were they inside of the shop?
I think they were... I don't know the setting exactly, but I think they were probably outside the shop, because I think they had their trolley or something like that, or bags, I don't know. And they generally thought someone was going to steal it, having already paid for their own items.
I've got no words for it because it's not... I'm not even shocked.
That's the thing, you can't be shocked.
I just think, yeah, next
one, and it really shouldn't be like that. It really shouldn't be like that. We should be shocked to hear about certain cases like that, but we're not shocked about it at all. Oh really, honestly, I feel like it's just been such a crazy couple of months as well. Of course the Black Lives Matter movement has to come when we're in the middle of a pandemic as well. Of course. Yeah. I'm like, you're literally...
What are your opinions on things like NHS, racism in NHS?
Oh, it's definitely there. From personal experience, it's definitely there.
Yeah, did you experience personal disregard for symptoms?
Oh yeah, literally. It's everywhere. And in the place I worked in, you wouldn't think, because a lot of the people there are black. Like my manager was black, he's Jamaican. So you wouldn't think it would be that much. You wouldn't think you'd really experience it that way. Obviously there was white people as well, but it's a case where you wouldn't think it because everyone was like so, like it was just a nice environment. Like then obviously there's always one person that has to be racist or has to be sexist. Like, okay, so I worked there last summer and with my friend Asosa, who's also black. So we're the two black girls there. There was also one black guy and one, I think he was mixed. I think my was mixed. But yeah, there was like, it was a good mix of everyone there. So it was a good environment to work in. Everyone's friendly, everything like that. But there was one woman, I won't say her name. Let's call her a different name. Let's call her...
Let's not expose it.
No, okay. Anyway.
If you want to, it's about it.
So she's sexist and racist. So a beautiful combo there. Her comment towards me was sexist. Like, I called her out. I was like, do you realise that's sexist? Because, okay, I'll talk about the sexist one first. So basically, I was in her office that day. I think I was on a lunch break, and
what did you work as?
A medical clerk, bank clerk, so I was just sorting out files and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was in their office, and I think I was just talking to a few people in there whilst eating lunch, and talking about football. I'm obviously a very, very crazy sports fan, naturally. So I was just talking about random stuff, and she was like, "Why are you talking about sports? You're a girl. You should be interested in other stuff. Girls don't really like football." And I was like, you do realise that can be...
lesbians play football.
Yeah, you do realise that can be sexist. And I said her name. She was like, "Oh no, I wasn't trying to be..." But it is. Girls can like whatever they want to like. Period. I was like, did you really just say that to me?
It's like, get out of the grave. From 1839.
Even though it's really minor, like the comment, like it's still something that I will say something to you about, because it's like we can like whatever we want to want, we can be whoever we want to be.
No, but the thing is though, it's the same way as saying like, "Oh, you're so white for a black person." It's the same comment.
Same thing.
You're so beige for a girl.
Same thing.
It's the same thing.
I definitely feel like I get that. I feel like sometimes I felt like in secondary school, I felt like, oh, do I... It's not like people would say it directly to our face. But it's a case where I felt like, am I acting too white? But I was like, how can someone act too white?
Yeah, what's the difference?
So I'm literally just being myself.
Yeah.
I'm literally being myself. Like,
no, I used to get that a lot. You're so white for a black person.
Like, because I like,
it's just how it
because I like this artist, I'm suddenly.
Right. No, I don't know if I had white music taste, but everyone was like, your personality is white.
Oh,
you sound so posh. Why is your accent like that? Are you from Yorkshire? You don't sound like you're from Yorkshire.
Oh my god.
Your accent's so posh. Where are you from?
No. Well, for me, I feel like it'll be the stuff that I'm interested in. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because my music taste is like everything. And I feel like I don't listen to Afrobeats all the time. I like Afrobeats all the time, but I don't listen to it all the time.
Yeah, well, I don't listen to dancehall. I think it sounds like disco music. But that's just my own.
Yeah, it's just your opinion. It's not. Doesn't take away. Yeah, it doesn't take away the fact that you're black at all.
About school, like people saying that you're white.
Yeah, like it's like people wouldn't say it, but I could tell they were like, why is she doing that or doing this? I'm like, because I don't want to. But obviously in secondary school I feel like I was a bit more, definitely less confident, that's for sure. And I just sort of just kept to myself in the end. I was just very quiet because I knew certain people had problems with me and I couldn't pinpoint why. But now I look back on it, it's because literally I was literally being myself and they couldn't hack it for some reason. When I got to sixth form, because I stayed at my school for sixth form as well, and a lot of those people left, so I immediately noticed a difference in terms of how everyone was acting. So those people, they were black too, but they just made it a mission to get everyone to follow their mission, follow their
like the height of their life was
yeah. And towards the end I was like, this is not ain't it.
No, that ain't it still.
At all.
No. Nothing changed, it just has a different name. You know when people say like, oh, racism isn't even a thing anymore?
Yeah.
It was still a thing though, that was just, the acceptance was way more stayed behind closed doors rather than do things.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think like the low-key, like microaggressive, racist comments are worse than people like the EDL, like
see, that's the point I was trying to say to one of the girls I lived with, because we were talking about this one day. I was like, yeah, in America it's a whole lot worse. It's because it's a lot more obvious. They have guns, they have all of that. But in the
they
UK,
have literally like law-abiding segregation.
Yeah.
We never had that.
We never. But the UK is bad as well, like almost just as bad, but in different aspects, different ways.
Yeah.
The racism it's more micro racism, and there's still police brutality, but just without guns.
Yeah.
You've got tasers. You've got other stuff.
51% of the police population are black or ethnic minority.
In the UK?
And they don't make up, 25% of them are black. And if you're a black person, on average you get 10 years longer sentencing than a white person.
100. Like the amount of posts I've seen where it's a white person and a black person. The white person's done a worse crime than the black person. The black person gets like
3 months.
Yeah, and then I'm just like, how does that even work? Like there's one where a lady buried her own child, and then the black woman who was shot, I think, carrying her child, got put in prison, and I don't think the white one did. She got away with it. I'm like, how do you get away with burying your own child?
We can't give them big sentences because it would ruin your reputation. I mean, that's the whole flipping point of, like...
You did the crime, you get the punishment. Please? I don't want to hear it. Ow. They put so much effort into prosecuting black people that half the time aren't even guilty of the thing.
Black person behind bars. Black person found guilty.
I'm like, you're pissing me off. You really are. Because when a black person does a crime, we're not saying that black people don't do crime, because we do. Everyone does. Every race does. But when they suddenly do a crime, it's like, oh, they've gone and killed someone when actually they've, I don't know, robbed a shop.
You know, like the worst thing for America was when Bill Clinton introduced that 3-strike rule. So if you get found guilty of 3 minor offences, you get a life sentence. That's how the prison population went up. But that's the difference between America and here, is like most stuff's privatised. So prisons as a company want more people to be in prison because then they make more money. Because it's the same thing as like companies pay prisons to not pay prisoners to make stuff for their company.
Yeah.
So that's how if they have more prisoners, then they've got more workers, aka slaves, to do the job.
Is this another way of slavery?
100%. It just got to change its name when it's called prison. So, yeah, crazy. No, but that was Bill Clinton and that. And that's why I couldn't think, oh, imagine if Hillary was in power, she's just a product of it. They're like the same person, aren't they? But what they say, like, the person that you spend the most time with is a product of you. She probably told him to do the 3 strike rule, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
I just want Michelle Obama to be president because I think she'd be better than Barry.
Oh, definitely. But did you know Barack Obama wasn't the first black president? Like, he wasn't.
Barack Obama wasn't even black.
Pardon?
One of Barack Obama's parents was white. So, Barack Obama ain't black.
Yeah, but somewhat, like...
Did you know that, what's that, piano person called?
I don't know anything. Piano people? Oh, yeah.
I think it was black.
He was? I wouldn't even look to research that.
Yeah, because, and then he had to, like, disguise himself and put powder in his face so he looked white.
Oh my god.
And in all of his portraits, they used to make him whiter so people didn't think he was black. I just think it's nuts.